everyone, it's Samantha. Welcome to my August chit chat video. So today I've got quite a bit of stuff to talk about, and actually we will already be in Austin by the time you see this video. Once things started rolling along, everything got lined up really quickly and our move date got scheduled really quickly. Once this video goes live, we will have already been in Austin. So after this video goes up, I'm not exactly sure what other videos are going to be able to be up. I am trying my best to get some videos scheduled right now. I'm filming this early. I'm filming a couple of other videos early. So hopefully I'll have some videos for you guys in August. But if not, and if the videos are a little bit scarce, you'll understand why. We just moved 1,000 miles. Since I'm filming this a little bit early, as of right now, we've got a move date, we've got plane tickets, we've got a rental house already. I'll talk more about the rental and the moving stuff in a few minutes, but a big thing happened this month that kind of moved the rest of the stuff along. It had a big impact on, the choices we made as far as rental goes. Warning, this is a Debbie Downer moment and you might want to just skip along in this video if you don't want to talk about it, but we did end up losing our dog Maya this month. I had talked about this months and months back in a chit chat video. We found out that Maya had cancer in her jaw. She had osteosarcoma, it's bone cancer in her jaw, and we had found it out because she was having some sort of problems chewing on dog bones. So we took her in for just like a dental checkup. They said definitely her teeth needed to be cleaned. She had an abscess on one of her teeth that needed to be removed. So they removed that whole tooth. And when they were doing like preliminary x-rays, they did see like her jaw was about to be broken. There was a little part of the jaw that had just been eaten away. They said it was totally purely coincidence that she had the jaw cancer right where her tooth was acting up. So the two things they didn't think were related, and they thought it was just like a lucky thing that we found out before it became a problem. And most dogs with osteosarcoma, they end up breaking their leg. It's usually like it starts in their leg, and they usually end up breaking their leg just randomly, and then that's how they find out they have bone cancer, and then they get put down immediately, like during their broken leg incident. They rush them to the emergency vet. The vet finds the cancer and they put the dog down right then. Usually they don't come back from that. So we've known for many, many months that she had this jaw cancer, and what they had said at the time is at some point her jaw will most likely break, and that's when we'll have to say goodbye to her. We definitely believe in euthanasia for the dogs. I think that's the most selfless thing you can do, is not let your pet suffer. And I think a lot of times when people know that their dog is suffering, they still want their dog. I understand that feeling of you're not ready to let go of your dog yet. And so I do understand that. I wanted to keep her as long as possible too. But on the other hand, you do what's best for your dog, and we did. So we had to say goodbye to her. Anyway, back to the doctor had said, this was back, I think in November. He said, you probably have a couple of months with her. And he said about 20 to 25% of osteosarcoma cases that are started in the jaw, that's where the cancer started, they metastasize. So they'll spread to other parts of the body, spread to the brain. And her case was so extreme, like there was barely a little tiny piece of her jaw hanging on. So like any moment she could break her jaw, pretty much is what he thought at that point when we saw the x-rays. And we got to see the x-rays. We saw there's just a tiny bit of bone left on this one part of her jaw. And so we thought we had a couple of months with her. This was back in November. It's now July. We had all these months with her. And what ended up happening was we took all three of the dogs to the vet for their yearly checkup. We were just getting, the rabies shots, their registration stuff. They just give them an examination. And so I was going to take them by myself and leave Johnny and Olivia at home, but Olivia ended up waking up early enough that all three of us and all three dogs went to the vet. So like logistically, I had Olivia like in my arm, just like swung onto my hip, and I had the leash for Maya, and then Johnny had Bella and Emma leashes. So we're walking into the vet, and the vet has like a little area in the front where there's a door and then a little glass entryway room and then another door, and the door and the windows leading into the office are all glass. So the people see you when you come in the door. The reception desk is right there. And as we're walking into that first door of the glass room, Johnny's like, WTF is Maya doing? Did she eat something? Because when we were outside, she had kind of sniffed the ground, and I had kind of yanked her away, trying to get her not to sniff the ground and not to stop, because we're trying to get in with 3 dogs and a baby. So we get in that first door. Johnny says, WTF is Maya doing? I turn and look at her, and she's like chewing. She's like chewing and turning to the side. So it's like this rotating thing that she's doing, turning her head to the side as she's chomping. So Johnny's thinking she had picked up something off the ground, she got something stuck in her mouth, and I think, oh my God, she's having a grand mal seizure. We did have another dog that ended up having cancer. That's how I knew it was a grand mal seizure. And so she's doing this. He's like, no, she just picked something up off the ground. She starts foaming at the mouth. She falls on the floor and she starts seizing right in front of us, and I'm holding the baby. Johnny's got the other 2 dogs, and Olivia's right outside the door right now. And as this happens, I scream, I like shout for somebody. The receptionists come running, the vet comes running in. They take Maya to the back, and we know at this point, like, we're saying goodbye to Maya today. And so like we're both losing it. We're trying to stay calm. We still have 2 vet appointments to go through with the other 2 dogs, and we just know we're not taking Maya home. The whole vet appointment was just really, really hard. As one vet is going through the appointment with us and checking our other 2 dogs out, the other vet is stabilizing Maya. And once the 2 dogs are checked out, we talked to the vet about, you know, is it okay if the dogs are here for this? What are their thoughts on that? And he said he thinks that the dogs really understand, so he would recommend leaving the dogs in the room as we say goodbye and letting them sniff her and say goodbye to her too. So that's what we did. And our vet's office is really, really great. They just absolutely love Olivia. I feel like we're there all the time, either picking up meds for Emma, picking up dog food. We had Snow and Emma on prescription dog foods, and it seems like we're always at the vet at least a couple times a month picking up stuff. So they really know us, and Olivia's really comfortable with them, and she plays in the office a little bit. They've got really cute toddler toys to keep the kids entertained. So we left Olivia with the receptionists while we said goodbye to Maya, and the dogs got to say goodbye, and I really think that it did help them, because it wasn't like with Snowbee where they were kind of moping, they were kind of looking around for her, they were always kind of waiting for her to come inside. It was very different. They were very on edge. They barked at every single thing that happened. Any noise they heard, they were like looking for her. And with this, Emma and Bella, they just kind of understood, and they do seem a little bit down. They don't seem their normal everyday happy selves. They definitely aren't looking around for her. I think they did understand, so I'm glad that they were there to say goodbye. I'm really, really glad we got all these extra months with her. I'm glad we found out, so that our day of saying goodbye wasn't the day we found out something was wrong. We did have all those months to kind of, I don't know, come to terms with it and kind of prepare for it mentally and emotionally, but it was still really hard. And she was 10 years old. She didn't have a pretty long life, but we were thinking she would have a longer life. I'm just glad, like, it happened where it did. We were literally walking into the vet's office when she had this seizure, and we weren't in a situation where Olivia and I were home and this happened. And they did say that anybody who got close to her got bitten. So multiple people in the office got bitten, and I could just imagine Olivia and I both potentially getting bitten when it was at home and we're trying to stabilize her. She probably would have bit the crap out of me, and it would have just been an extra complication of, you know, taking her to the vet while she's seizing, and it would have just been a mess. So I'm glad it happened where it did happen. When they brought her into the room, she was stable. She was really drugged, and they had her muzzled because she had bitten so many people, and they warned us she was going to be in a muzzle. And they were, you know, they're like, she doesn't really know what's going on. She's heavily drugged. She might not be the same dog that you guys know, and she might potentially try to bite you. And so when they brought her in, they set her on the table. She just scoots over to me and starts just licking my arm. And that's such a Maya thing. It's exactly what she would do at home. She would just sit there and try to lick you to death. And so I knew she was still there a little bit, and we did really get to say goodbye to her. It wasn't easy, and it's still not easy. And the house is so so much emptier without her. She was a little dog, but she had a humongous presence in our house, and it's been ridiculously quiet. The other two dogs aren't very loud, although Bella's a husky, so she does do the yodeling husky thing every once in a while, but she used to bark at a lot of things, and I thought they all barked, and it was basically she set them off barking. So she would start barking at something, the other two would bark, so all three of them would be barking, but now they don't hardly bark at anything because Maya's not there to just start up the barking session. So when Johnny comes home, the garage goes up. The dogs used to go crazy, and now Emma will bark a couple of times, sometimes, but not even every time. UPS came and delivered some packages, and they ended up ringing the doorbell, and it was during Olivia's nap time, and ordinarily if they rang the doorbell, the dogs would go ape crazy, and they didn't make a peep. They didn't even get up or move. I always felt like the dogs were always with us. They're always like sitting next to me, and it was really Maya. It was Maya who's always sitting next to me and always following us around the house and sitting next to Olivia when Olivia's sitting on the floor playing. So I always felt like the dogs were always around us, and the other two dogs really keep to themselves a lot of the day. So a lot of times it's just Olivia and I together, and I feel like somebody's missing because Maya was always there. So it's been a really hard adjustment not having her here. She was always with me. Maya was Johnny's dog, so it's been really hard on him. We're both kind of just down in the dumps right now, you know, trying to mourn her. During the day I can stay pretty happy. There's just moments where it hits me sometimes and it hurts all over again. But we lost Snowy in April, so I feel like we're barely just getting over that, and then Maya's gone too, so it's really weird. And we have two dogs now, so that's been really weird, is we only have two dogs. It's a normal number of dogs. Giving out treats is super easy. Feeding them is super easy. Passing out medicine is super easy. It's amazing. But it's just been a big change, a big shift going from 4 to 2 in a matter of a couple of months. And that brings me to less depressing news. Let's talk about moving and stuff. So in the last video I talked about we have 3 dogs. We're having trouble finding a rental with 3 dogs. They all say 2 dogs. Well, we have 2 dogs now, so we were able to find a rental pretty easily, even though one of them is a husky. We did have to weed through a lot of listings that did say under 50 pounds or under 35 pounds, and some of them say breed restrictions, and those ones usually include huskies. Well, we ended up finding a gorgeous rental house, and so we have a rental, and it's, I think it's right about the same size as this house. It's a 3-bedroom house just like this one, but I'm really excited. It has a pantry, like a legit pantry, and I'm so excited to have a pantry. We have I've shown it in videos. We have a pantry that has those pull-out sliding shelves, and while it's really nice, you can get all the way to the back, I definitely find that I lose things in the back. I can't organize them nearly as well as if they're just like in long shelf rows, because they're just so deep. It's hard to have canisters of stuff in this pantry that I have now. So I'm very excited about the pantry. The layout's really, really nice. Everything's coming together really nicely for the move. We've got everything lined up. We've got plane tickets purchased. So logistically, here's our like game plan. We're having movers pack us up, load up the truck, drive the truck to us, and they will unload the truck, but we're not going to have them unpack. We both talked about it, and we'd like to just unpack slowly. And if they unpack for you, they just put everything out on the counters. And I was tempted to do that so that they would take all the boxes and the paper and bubble wrap and whatever else they use for packing, but they'll actually come back. You schedule with them to come back, and they will come and pick up all the paper and the boxes and stuff. So it's like, yeah, we'll just unpack, take our sweet time with it. I think you have to have them pick it up within like 30 days or something. You just schedule whatever day you want them to come pick up the stuff, and then we can just take our time and unpack things as Olivia naps or as Olivia's asleep at night, because I just have a sense of if they unpacked all of our stuff, set it on all the surfaces, Olivia would try to get into everything, and she almost pulled a plate off of our island, and our island is really tall. It's like a high top counter, and she almost got a plate off of it, and the plate was pretty far back. She's just really tall. She has a really good reach. She knows how to stand on her tippy toes. I just know it's just an accident waiting to happen. So before they come to do that, Johnny is going to drive the dogs down in my SUV so that he can load up the car with stuff that we're gonna need. And then the next day, Olivia and I are going to fly down. And this is before the movers are gonna come. So Olivia and I will be here with all of our normal everyday stuff. And then we'll just have to pack a little bit of stuff for the plane ride. And then Johnny will have stuff for us. He'll set up stuff before we get there. It'll work out really nicely that we're not going to be without everything for all that long. When we travel down to Austin, we'll have a couple of days with all of us there without our furniture and moving stuff. And then Johnny's going to fly back to Illinois and be here for the moving days. When they pack up your stuff and load up the truck, it's 2 separate days and they want somebody here the whole time. So he's going to be present for that. I thought at first I would stay here while he took the dogs down, but it's just going to be way too hard with Olivia. She's just going to try to get into everything. And so he's going to fly back and do that. And I'll stay in Austin with Olivia and the dogs. And so Olivia and I won't be coming back. When we fly in, that'll be it. And that'll be before this video goes up. So we'll be in Austin. I just don't know if we'll have furniture. So we're going to make do. We'll just make it work. In the SUV, he is taking the pack and play. So we'll have that. And we're gonna go buy some mattresses. We wanted to upgrade from a queen size bed to a king size bed, and now we're doing it. So I'm very excited about that. We're gonna get our king size bed. We've both wanted to have a king size bed for so long, and we just keep putting it off because it's expensive and we have a perfectly good bed. There's no reason for us to do it. We're the kind of people who like, okay, if it works, why replace it? And now we're gonna upgrade. I'm really excited. Our bed's a queen size bed and it will be our guest bed. I think that's all I've got about the move to talk about. Gotta check my list. I had other things to talk about today. Yes, I have one thing to talk about. So I talked about this in a video recently. I am obsessed. I mean, absolutely obsessed with LuLaRoe leggings. So I've got some leggings on. Hopefully you can see that. That's my leg. Love the LuLaRoe leggings. They are super duper comfortable. There are 2 different sizes. There's tall and curvy, which is the larger size, and then the one size which goes up to I think a 12, and then the tall and curvy starts at 14. LuLaRoe is one of those direct sales companies like Mary Kay or Stampin' Up. You do have to actually order through a consultant, and it's different in the sense that the consultants actually carry their inventory. What they have on hand is what you're able to buy, and the neat thing about LuLaRoe is the patterns change. So like my leggings are these funky patterns. See, I've got this just funky, really neat, colorful pattern. I don't know how often, seasonally, monthly, something like that. The weird and kind of cool thing is the consultants don't get to pick what patterns they get. The patterns aren't named or anything. They're limited run, so they only make like 2,000 or 3,000 or something, really small number of each pattern. And the consultants just order, say, I want 30 of the leggings, and they just get 30 different patterns or duplicates of certain patterns. There are solid colors too, so they just get 30 of whatever, and that's what they have to sell. What got me into LuLaRoe was my best friend joined as a consultant, so she now sells it. I will leave her info in the description box down below if you want to check her out. That's where I got these lovely leggings from. It's a really different shopping experience than I'm used to. Usually, you know, if you want something, you go to the store, you say you want one of it, you order it online, or you order it in the store when you're there and you're done. Well, this one you have set pop-up times where they'll show you what they've got at like 8 p.m. on a Friday, and you have to be online at 8 p.m. on a Friday, and if you're not online pretty early, a lot of the stuff just sells out. The stuff just, people want certain patterns just fly away. If you see one that you like that's already sold, you're just out of luck. You have to find some other consultant that happens to have that design, or you have to wait patiently while your consultant gets more and hopefully gets that design. So there's that aspect of it that I want what I want, and if it's not there, I'm gonna be a little peeved off about it because I want certain patterns. I have 3 pairs of leggings now, and when I'm home, I'm living in these leggings. I absolutely love them. I don't wear them out of the house so much right now because it's summertime. It's really, really hot, and so I just wear shorts all the time outside, but I just love them. They're so comfortable, and they just, I don't know, they feel super duper soft. It kind of feels like I'm wearing pajamas and I'm kind of cheating. I'm not really wearing real clothes because they are so comfortable. I absolutely love them. So definitely check out my friend's link down below. She does the pop-up parties, and if you want to host a party, she'll be able to do that for you too. I definitely can see how people get really addicted because the patterns change all the time and they're beautiful. There's different colors, different patterns. I love the designs. There's been a couple of designs that I've seen, and I could see myself like hunting out these designs, looking for different consultants that offer those designs. I'm at the point now where I know other designs are coming, so I can't just like obsess about a certain design. I'm just gonna kind of wait and see what's coming out, because I know there's going to be more. I just know there's going to be more beautiful designs. I don't want to end up with like 30 pairs of leggings, so I really have to make my choices very carefully. So the last thing I want to talk about this month, I really needed something to just get my mind off of everything, get my mind off the move, get my mind off losing MYA, and so I turned to some games, not video games, but cell phone games. I ended up finding a game that I really liked called Pokemon Go. So there's my little Pokemon person. I don't know anything about Pokemon. I never followed it as a kid. Ooh, a Pokemon just appeared. I gotta catch it. So I'm totally addicted to this game. I love catching them, and we take walks all the time. So I am out walking, and it's just another like thing I add to our walk, and it like notifies you when a Pokemon appears, so it'll vibrate and make noise, and so I can just have this slipped in my pocket, and when a Pokemon comes out, then I'll go and catch it. I have not done any of like the battle stuff yet. I probably won't do any of that. I just like the idea of catching them all and collecting them. That's definitely just part of my personality, and I talked to my best friend about this, the one that sells LuLaRoe. She's also just starting the Pokemon game, and she wants to collect them all too. We're both that same way with scrapbooking. If we like a product, we want one of every color of it and collect all of them. So I don't know, it's just really fun that way. And the other game I'm playing is Bakery Story. See that? It's just a little bakery game where you cook different things and things cook at different times. So I used to play this all the time before Olivia was here. The people come in your bakery. Hopefully you can see that a little bit. They come in your bakery, eat your food, you make money, and then you cook different things, and you can level up in that one too. I really, really like this game. I actually have a Bakery Story blog. When I was active with it, it had way over 1 million views. I have not updated my blog in forever, and I haven't even played. It is just an addictive game too. It does notify you randomly during the day once your food is cooked, and so it's not something I can play all the time. I set my ovens to cook food that takes like 8 hours or 9 hours or some long time, so I can just play it at night and first thing in the morning. But I really, really love that game. I've been really enjoying taking my mind off of everything with those 2 games. It's just, you know, it's brightened my time up a little bit. Speaking of brightening my day, Olivia keeps me going, definitely. She's just so full of life and full of energy, and she's such a happy girl. I was talking to Johnny about this morning. She just gives the best smiles and the best hugs and the best kisses, and I'm so happy to be her mommy, and it's getting more fun every month. She's trying to say a lot of things. She definitely gets her point across with things. It's been really great. One of the updates I have with her actually is she dropped a nursing session. She just slowly dropped those like mid-morning and mid-afternoon nursing sessions she had. We had dropped to 4, and then recently we had dropped to 3, and now we've dropped to 2. So her nursing sessions used to be right when she wakes up in the morning, right before nap, after nap, and then right before bed. So she ended up dropping the one before nap, and what we do instead of have her nurse is we just snuggle. We just snuggle for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. She just sits in my lap and we rock, and I set her down and tell her good night. And then just this last week or so, she dropped the nursing session right before bed, which was really shocking to me. I thought that would probably be the last one she dropped, but she just wants to snuggle, so we just snuggle before bed. It's been about a week and my hormones are raging. I didn't really notice any kind of emotional, hormonal shifts with the other nursing sessions dropping, but this one was really dramatic. And I'm very, very hormonal. And it could just be partially because of the dog stuff too, partially because of the stress of the moving, but I really feel emotional. I feel like PMS 24/7, and it's been hard. It's been really hard to kind of manage my emotions and not cry at the dumbest things. I seriously almost cried at the dumbest things, and again, it could just be the MYA thing too, but I've also noticed my appetite's definitely different. Before this, I was still just starving. I wanted every sweet thing you could possibly imagine. I just wanted to just shovel in cookies and ice cream. And I wanted to eat all the time, not just sweets too, just all the time eating. And now I'm more back to my regular eating habits. I don't really crave the sweets. In fact, like I ate a bowl of ice cream the other day and I couldn't finish the whole bowl. And that's more of my style. Before having Olivia, I like take it or leave it with sweets. Now give me a bag of potato chips and I will hoover that thing, and I'm still like that. I still love the salty stuff too, but the sweets, just this last almost 17 months, she's almost 17 months, I've been obsessed with sweets. I've totally been addicted to sugar, and since she dropped that nursing session this week, I have not wanted sugar at all. To put this in perspective, my sugar was so out of control that I had to limit myself to 3 or 4 sugary things a day. I'm not joking you. I'm like, okay, this is my 3rd sweet snack. I've got to stop. So I was thinking before she had nursed this that I was going to cut myself back to 2 sweet treats a day and then cut myself back to 1 sweet treat a day. And I never had to go that far because as soon as she started dropping this session, I just didn't want them. I realized a couple days into it, I hadn't had a sweet thing at all for like 3 days. Whereas before I was, limiting myself to 4 sweet things a day. I didn't even have any for a couple of days in a row. I didn't even notice it. I didn't even like obsess about it. It's definitely great. I'm not eating nearly as much stuff. That has just got to be a hormone thing, why I wanted all the sugar. So it makes sense now that I'm like looking back at it. I'm not nursing as much, so I'm just not craving the sweets as much. But I do have a favorites video coming up. I am going to talk about 2 sweet things I've really liked. I probably won't like them as much now, but I still will like them. Hopefully I'll level out here soon. And I don't know if she's just completely working on weaning herself. She's just gonna be slow and gradual about it. It seems like she is. It seems like naturally just one nursing session has fallen off after the other. She nurses as soon as she wakes up, and then right after nap time she nurses. So it's been really nice with just the 2 nursing sessions. I'm definitely really hormonal still, but it's been really great not wanting to eat everything and not constantly feeling like I'm starving. It's definitely been one of the hardest things about breastfeeding for me, is I'm just always so starving. Now I feel like normal amounts of food. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up if you like these chit chat videos, and be sure to subscribe. So this month, like I said, I'm not sure what my schedule is going to be like, but I'm going to strive to try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday still. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.